Hello everyone. So I'm going to go through all the even problems from Unit 3, Day 8. Okay? And so hopefully this will give you a little guidance. This is for those that were not in class. Okay? So if you were in class, you saw me do all these problems. But if you're watching it, then maybe you needed to get a little refresher. Okay? So anytime I see a negative underneath the radical, I bring that I value out. Okay, bring that I value out. No I value here. Good to go. Okay, now I am not going to use the hockey stick method here. All right, I'm going to use my knowledge of perfect squares, and well, I'm going to use my knowledge of perfect squares in order to simplify these guys. Right, I had to grab something out of my bag there. So anyway. All right, so our perfect squares, okay, are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, okay, so on and so forth, all right? So here's the trick I like to use, okay? Take 108, divide it in half, all right? When you divide it in half, you get 54, okay? So look at our perfect squares. So 54 is kind of like our breaking point, right? So we're going to stop right there in between 49 and 64. So does 49 go into 108? It does not. How about 36? Does 36 go into 108? And it does, okay? It's actually 36 times 3. Okay, let's go over to 48. Divide 48 in half. What do we get? 24. Okay, so that means we're somewhere back here. So all these guys are out. All right, so now, all right, so we're going back from 24. So our first number we run into is 16, and 16 does go into 48. And then finally, divide 12 in half. Okay, we get 6. So that means our only two perfect squares that could go in there are 4 and 1. So 4 times 3. And then now, we just take the square root of those perfect squares. So 6i, square root 3, minus 4i, square root 3, plus, I'm going to have to multiply those two. So 3 times 2 will give me 6. Square root 3, I got like terms here. And so I'm going to get 2. I square root 3 plus 6 square root 3, but I have to put it in standard form. And so finally my answer is 6 square root 3 plus 2i square root 3. Let's take a look at number 4. I see a negative, bring it out. So 64 times, see a negative, bring it out, bring out that I. Okay, so now, looking a little more familiar with what we've seen. So we get negative 4i, square root of 64 is 8. We get 3xi, square root of 100 is 10. Multiply all this out. So we get negative 4 times 8 times 3 times 10. We get a negative 960. I don't have anything to multiply with the x, and the I gets multiplied by the I, and so we get I squared. Now I squared is equal to a negative 1, so we get negative 960 x times a negative 1, which is a positive 960x. Take a look at number 6. Okay, see a negative, bring it out. See a negative, bring it out. Square root of 16 is 4, so 4i here, 2 plus 4i here, and this looks very similar to our difference of two squares, right? So I'm going to go 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 4i is 8i, negative 4i times 2 is minus 8i, and then negative 16i squared. These guys cancel, so I get 4 plus, and so I get a negative 16 times, what's I squared equal to? A negative 1. Let's end up getting 4 plus 16, which is just equal to 20. Number 8. see a negative, bring it out. See that negative, bring that I value out. Okay, now looking a little more familiar. So square root of 36 is just 6, and the square root of 100 is 10. Multiply this out, so I get negative 50i. Oh, I'm sorry, got to multiply these two first. 5 times 2 is 10. There we go. Minus 50i minus 12i plus 60i squared. Okay, combine like terms, so 10 minus 62i plus 60 times negative 1. I should end up getting 10 minus 62i minus 60. And so our answer is negative 50 minus 62i. Let's go to number 10. See a negative, bring it out. See a negative, bring it out. Okay, so now, we did this one earlier. So 4i, this is going to be 2 square root 3. And we're just left with I square root 3. Alright, so 8i square root 3, I square root 3. Nothing multiplies with the 8, so we get 8i squared times 3. Remember, I squared is equal to negative 1, and so our answer is negative 24. Let's go to number 12. Okay, again, I'm just trying to get it so it's set up like this. Alright, so in order to do that, I need to combine like terms over here. So 5 plus 2i plus bi is equal to 5 minus 4i. Okay, so now I have to figure out what value does b have to be in order to add these two things together and make sure I get a negative 4. Okay, so b is going to have to equal a negative 6. Alright, but let's solve that out to be sure. Alright, so I'm going to subtract a 5. Cancel, cancel, so I get 2i plus bi is equal to a negative 4i. Subtract 2i, subtract 2i. bi is equal to a negative 6i. Divide by I, divide by I. b is equal to a negative 6, which is what we suspected. Number 14. Alright, so I'm going to go, now make sure you distribute that negative sign, so 5 minus 2i minus x minus 4i is equal to 7 minus 6i. Okay, so combine like terms here, so I'm going to get 5 minus x minus 6i is equal to 7 minus 6i. Okay, so now we got to figure out what value does x have to be in order to make sure I get a 7 here. So I'm guessing x has to be a negative 2, right? I need to add 2 to 5, right? In order to get a positive 2 there, well, x would have to be negative. But let's check to be sure. So I add 6i. Those cancel. So I get 5 minus x is equal to 7. Minus 5 minus 5. Negative x is equal to 2. Divide by negative 1. X is equal to a negative 2. And because I'm feeling nice, I guess I'll do this one real quick. So 6 times 15, I don't know what that is. I'm not feeling my math, so this is going to be 90x plus, this is 6 times 27. 162 is equal to 30i minus 9yi. Okay, so I'm going to have to bring this guy over. So I get 90x plus 162 minus 30i is equal to negative 9yi. I'm going to subtract 90x So I get 162 minus 30i is equal to negative 90x minus 9yi. So the whole purpose of that is trying to get it so it looks exactly like A here. Okay? And then we just set these things equal to each other. So I set A is equal to C, B is equal to D. Right? So in this case, our A is what comes out in front. So 162 is equal to negative 90x. And the other guy is just going to be negative 30i is equal to a negative 9yi. Okay? And by doing that, now we figure out what value makes this statement true. So I divide 162 by negative 90. I get x is equal to a negative 9/5. And over here I divide negative 30 by negative 9. And I get y is equal to a positive 10/3. Okay? So the idea here is to set it up so it looks like A here. Right? We want to have all our x's and y's on one side, and all the ones without x's and y's on the other side must be in standard form. And then you set A equal to C, which is your first value, and then B equal to D, which is your second one. Okay? So hopefully that helps. I'll upload this so you guys got some answer keys, and have a good one, everybody. All right?